So this is a public hearing on a zoning revision at the Plainfield Planning Commission on Monday, July 20th, 2026. And I guess I'll open the hearing. And we have two public participants, Kaylee Hope and Becca Schrader. And since the hearing is to get public input on the revision, I'll ask either one of them to chime in.
I can go ahead first. I don't actually have any input. I'm on the planning commission in East Montpelier and just was attending out of interest being from a neighboring town.
Oh, cool. Did you get a copy of the zoning revision? It's on the town website.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Okay, great. Nice to have a neighbor show up. Kaylee, have you got anything, comments you want to make?
So I don't necessarily have comments. I'm just curious about, I read the changes, but because as the zoning administrator, I'm going through like some processes for subdivision applications and have found it a little bit complex the way that it's written now. So my understanding is that the goal is to simplify that process a little bit with this change. So I just wanted to listen mostly.
Okay, well, the old or the existing subdivision regulations had two sets of hearings for
Right.
a major, and we basically kept the standards the same, the process the same, because the DRB is used to doing that. But we condensed it into one hearing process that is front loaded with information. And we have a process where a subdivider will come and meet with the zoning administrator and lay out what's needed for this application. Because in previous subdivision permit applications, there'd be a brief meeting with the zoning administrator, and there'd be this preliminary hearing where a lot of stuff was laid out, but not really enough. So there'd have to be a second hearing and a third hearing. And this condenses the timeline, but keeps the standards the same. So the idea is that an applicant comes in, learns everything he needs to do, which is complicated. You need to have survey, you need to do a lot of things and provide some information. And then that makes the hearing process easier to manage over time.
Okay. Yeah.
It's similar to other towns in the area that trying to get the process to be easier to manage, but
Great.
still be complete.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And then so we did that. We had that hearing a while ago, and then we got some information we got some feedback on slope, which we modified. And then I was looking at it we were talking about ADUs, and the current language it just describes an ADU as an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
We really needs to be a dwelling, an attached dwelling. And a dwelling is a specific unit. And you can either put an addition on your house that is, separate, that would be different from an apartment, which sort of means it's enclosed in the original shell. So an ADU could be an attached dwelling or not attached. It can be a separate casita, like they build for your in-laws. But it wouldn't have to be attached to the building, but it would be on the same parcel, and it would be a permitted use.
Okay.
It could adaptive reuse, could be the barn, the garage, anything that's turned into a housing unit attached to the original parcel. And
Okay.
The reason for that is to have more dwelling units in the town.
Right. Okay. Okay. And then I was just curious, like depending on what happens, like when these will be effective, because I have some people who like sort of already did the preliminary.
Yep. Well,
So
here's how it works. This is a warrant hearing 15 days ahead of time. If we don't hear any, big changes, we will forward this to the select board, and they can approve it, but they need to hold their own hearing before they can approve it. They need to do a 15-day warning period.
Okay.
The day they warn it, the warning comes out, you as zoning administrator can then process a new permit under the new proposed regulations even before they're adopted. If they don't get adopted, you have to revert to the old one. It's complicated.
Okay.
Those people who are going to apply in the next month say, I'm going to forward this to Frances Rose. She can warn it. Peter Youngberg was just here, and we were talking about the August 27th for the hearing. It's the warning that opens up the use of the review under the new proposed zoning.
Okay. Great.
There's a couple of other things that would be, I think, important for you. One is that, there's that first kind of informal meeting. Then there's the first real meeting, which is, sorry, I'm looking at something at the same time, but the
Preliminary plat review.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Been on vacation and
That's okay.
the sketch plan review, sorry.
Yeah.
The sketch plan review then becomes a formal process where previously it was an informal process. It's a hearing, it's a formal hearing that's warned and which would be up to the DRB. And neighbors are informed. And if there's any other parties that have gotten status, they would be informed. And the permit for that has to be filed before the sketch plan review. I forget what it says, 15 days, I think. And,
Okay.
So that's kind of starting the whole formal process sooner
Mm-hmm.
and involving the public sooner.
Right. Okay. Because we just went through one of those with one particular person, and so I guess they can just move to the next step since they've already done that.
Yes.
But these changes are making it so that sketch plan review is a little bit more formal. Is that the
Yes.
idea? Okay.
And it should speed up the process and also lay out the groundwork sooner in the process.
Okay. Great.
It should be easier to work.
Excellent.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Becca, you didn't have any comment, and Kaylee, you were just looking for some information. So with that, I'm going to ask the members of the Planning Commission to vote once again to approve, to send the document on to the select board. So I have a motion to forward the
Sure, I'll move that we approve the amendments and send them to the select.
and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So that would actually conclude the hearing, but Kaylee had sent something to me today about an application, a revised application for a subdivision. And I didn't forward it. I didn't want to complicate the meeting. And I wanted Karen to look at it. She's on vacation in Maine. But Kayla, in some ways, I mean, the planning commission would just agree that this is good because you're the administrator, and I think the application looks fine. If you feel the need to go ahead and use that new information, I mean, I certainly think that makes sense because it's more.
Okay.
Was this the Cerruti Road one?
No.
Yes. Yeah. But this is the right of way approval,
Right-of-way application. Yeah.
which has been done as like a separate application, but my suggestion is to just incorporate this new form into the DRB review. And so when they apply for a subdivision permit, if they need a right-of-way approval, they will indicate that in their original application. And then the form that I sent you would just be part of like the DRB's final decision where they would fill that out. Because it just seems a little bit, um, I don't know, it seems a little bit redundant to have them do a total separate application for a right of way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Karen had been looking at it before, so if there's a situation that, I would just like to have, we should look at it and endorse it. But if you feel you need to go ahead and, you've got a situation where that makes sense. And the DRB wants this too. They've looked at that.
I haven't shared that with them yet. I just know that the right of way approval form, the current one, is like particularly out of date because the way that it's formatted is like the planning commission signs off on the right of way
Yeah.
approval, but I think the new regulations make that under the DRB and
Yes. It used to be the planning commission
right,
reviewed subdivisions, and that's so long ago.
right,
It's
right.
irrelevant.
Yeah. So I just didn't want that to hold up this particular project, but I'm not sure that it will anyway. So yeah, I mean, if everyone's on board with that becoming like a form that's part of the final decision as opposed to a separate application, then I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll forward that to you. And I mean,
It's basically, it's the Cerruti Road project. It's a 2-lot
yeah,
subdivision and the right of way goes across the current
right.
owner. Yeah.
But I mean, anything we can do to make the application process clearer,
Sure.
up to date, and easier to administer, we're all in favor of, absolutely. And-
Great.
And Karen would always come and ask about, getting some input from the planning commission, but in this case, if you feel this is ready to go, I would run it by Janice.
Okay.
I'm sure she's gonna say, this is great, let's do it,
Yeah.
just so we're all on the same page. But it was great work to do that, and anytime you find stuff like that in the nuts and bolts drawer that can
Yeah.
be sorted out a little better, and the tools are lined up properly, it's a good thing.
Right, great. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I will be also revising the actual zoning permit application, so I'll be running that by you.
And I think you should look at their fees. Because they probably should be updated, and I think that's something the planning commission does need that. Some feedback on it, but
Okay.
and speak with Karen when she comes back, because she's asked a couple times, we should
Right.
look at the fees, we should update them, they should, represent the amount of effort that goes in on your part.
Right.
The DRBs, it costs money for the DRB to do the hearing, a lot of that is paid for out of the permit process.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I will definitely take a look at that.
Okay. That was the only thing I had for information. Anything else, Kaylee, before? Do you want to try to, I'm going to copy you in on at least the minutes and the agendas and the Zoom links for the planning commission meeting.
That would be great. Yeah.
Just so you're in touch with it, and anytime you want to come or have suggestions, I mean, that's part of it was nice having Karen on the commission and being the zoning administrator, because she could fill us in on what's happening. And it might be good for you to think about like quarterly sort of updates, what permits been happening,
Okay.
so we know what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Not to give you extra work, but unless I'm missing something, the permits have not been filed on the town website for quite a while. Unless I'm.
Yeah, I think there's also a backlog of actual recording of zoning permits too, like
Okay.
in the office. So, but you're right about that. They're not online also.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that when it can happen, It's great.
If they're just PDFs or converting to PDF, just email them to Bob. He'll-
Okay.
That's what, that's how he manages the housing advisory committee webpage. And I could just email him stuff and put them on. I manage
Okay.
the commission page, which is, well, it's kind of a mess. And I don't know if we want to do the zoning permits under the planning commission page. Maybe that's the place to put them. I don't know. Think about
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely think about that. And I suppose they could still be sent even if they're not recorded yet, as long as
As
they're
long, well, if
files.
they're legitimate permits,
Yeah.
there's a certain file nomenclature to put it on the website, which is the date underscore. We can talk about this.
Okay. Sure.
No rush, but it's something that it'd be nice to have up to date and useful.
Yes. Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I love a short meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for coming, Kaylee.
Yep.
It's good to do it. Thanks for doing that update on the right-of-way permit application. And I think we can, over time, try to streamline a lot more things.
Great. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, okay, so unless there's other business, do we have a motion to adjourn? Sure. So, and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Okay, thanks.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, I opened up the freaking,